Family constellations is a framework which allows us to understand the way we relate to ourselves, our parents and family members, our prosperity, our sexuality, to our work and goals. In other words, it explains why we relate to the world the way we do. And therefore, it becomes a therapeutic process that takes us to the root of any difficulty we might experience in any of those fields. This framework places the individual as part of a system. We're not a loose piece, but we are part of a whole puzzle. And this puzzle is the family we are born into. Our work with our boss, co-workers, the human resources, accounts, the social club we become members of, the dance academy where we take classes, the church, the community, our community, the nation. And of course, the most basic and elemental of all these systems is our family system. So what does it mean to be part of a system? It means that our behavior, feelings, and decisions are the result of the stories lived by our ancestors. We are the direct result of both their positive and their traumatic life experiences. So if you have experienced repeated relationship issues or persisting feelings of frustration, fear, hate, or difficulties to thrive financially, these circumstances are deeply embedded in our family system. So let me give you a couple of examples. In my private sessions online, I start off with an interview. And after, I ask the consultant to place on the constellation board different representatives for different family members or different aspects of his or her life, depending on the case. A consultant in her early 40s wanted to get pregnant. She and her husband had been trying for quite a while, even with assisted conception treatment, but nothing seemed to work. I asked the consultant if any woman in her family lineage had died during her pregnancy or giving birth, and she told me about her grandmother who had indeed died during labor. So I asked her to place on the constellation board a representative for herself and for the baby she wanted to have. And when she did so, I noticed that she didn't look at her baby. She wasn't connecting with her goal of having a child. So I then asked her to place a representative of her grandmother on the constellation board. And here is where she placed it. Here is where she was confused. So the subconscious message that was holding her back was, Grandma, being pregnant is dangerous. Being pregnant can lead me to death. And this is the fear that was keeping her from getting pregnant. This ancestral memory inherited directly from her grandmother's story. Unconsciously, she was blocking the conception of her own baby. So in a family session, the first step is to uncover the memory, the belief, the loyalty, or the fear inherited from trauma experienced by a family member. Once this first step has been achieved, the second part is to dissolve that blockage in the consultant's mind so as to free him or her from her negative patterns that are preventing him or her from moving freely and successfully in life. Here's another example. A consultant was having a hard time with his wife. She was excessively jealous. He couldn't bear it anymore, so he was considering putting an end to the relationship. He placed his own representative and the representative for his wife like this. both looking at each other. During the interview, he told me that his mother didn't look after him because she left home when he was a little boy. And that made it clear for me. Now his wife was giving him what he didn't get from his own mother. Let's say this is his mother. Someone that really looked after him and didn't lose him out of sight. That's why unconsciously he connected with this controlling and jealous wife. She made up for something he lacked as a child. For you see, it is our inner wounds, the ones that in many occasions choose our partners. So I worked with this consultant and his inner child in order to allow him to connect to his mother, reconnecting the bond that was once interrupted. This is what nurtures the child and allows the consultant to be an adult. That way, it is the adult, the one that chooses the wife that picks his partner and not the inner child. We also tend to imitate difficult or challenging destinies of our ancestors. These unconscious patterns are called invisible loyalties. So if you want to find out more about these invisible loyalties and how to avoid them, do watch this video. My name is Catalina Lopez and I am a family constellation therapist. If you would like to solve a personal issue within the family constellation framework, don't hesitate to book your session online with me. And please subscribe to my channel so you can receive my next videos. Bye bye for now.